Good evening. I'd like to call to order the September 23rd, 2024 Parks and Recreation Committee meeting. I'm Commissioner Nick Scoll. To my left is Commissioner Anthony Benvenuti, and Benjamin Olszewski is not feeling well tonight. Kate Kohler, our Director of Parks and Recreation. Brianna Bryant, our legal representative. Pat Stasio, our director, and I think that's it. Are there any presentations or announcements?
There are none this evening.
Any public comments? And approval of the minutes from July 2024. Any corrections? Okay, we'll move us ahead. Okay, well, we're just zipping along here. Monthly reports, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Commissioner. Some highlights from July and August. Our Farmstead Park paving project has been completed. Public Works finished that up last month we have to still paint the lines, but all of the paving has been complete for that. We are preparing to submit the documents to DCNR grant for reimbursement now. Also, Woodlawn Park, the Board of Commissioners approved the cost proposal last month. We did meet with Simone Collins to walk the site and discuss some items that we want to address for those, to be able to obtain those construction documents for phase one. Also, committee-wise, Parks and Rec Advisory Council, I just want to note we did add 2 new Parks and Rec Council members this summer. Also, the Maintenance Division, our staff continues to work extremely hard to keep the parks in order. They've prepared sites for summer camps, everything from removing dead animals to removing trash to moving tables, whatever we ask, they complete. And I did include a chart there for you to review, and I'd just like to note the response times of our maintenance team. When a complaint is fielded in our office, you know, we address it and try to fix it in a timely manner.
What, is there a number with that last time?
Not necessarily. It depends when the complaints come in. Sometimes it's weekends and, you know, we can't get to it till Monday, but a lot of times you'll see it's within a day or 2 of the initial complaint. At least it's addressed, if not a solution proposed.
What I would expect, and that's how it's always been.
Yep. Recreational Division, we were preparing for our Fall Frolic Tween Dance, which actually occurred last Friday. We filled that dance, had 75 youngsters out rocking and rolling last Friday night. We also met at Fair Oaks to discuss one of the neighbors of that park had some questions about the basin. So we are trying to develop like an environmental meet and greet session out there with the neighbors. So hopefully that will occur in October, and we'll just discuss the basin and the environmental factors and get the community excited about it. And lastly, our concert series wrapped up the end of August. Jen Hardigan, our recreation coordinator, she coordinated the 8 concerts this year, and they were all really well received once again. I'd be happy to answer any other questions you may have about the monthly report.
I'm concerned. I understand there was a break-in at the farmstead, in the barn. I want to know the status of that.
So I did discuss with a police officer today the possibility of those youths entering the YAP program, Youth Assistance Program, I want to say. So we're working with them to come up with a reasonable consequence for their actions. We did assess the damage. Unfortunately, the damage that occurred was to some irreplaceable items because they are, you know, it's a historical site, and the window that was broken was specific to that building.
Is it the
And
Palladium window?
was it the what?
Palladium window, the one at the top of the,
No, it was the new window that was just installed in July, closer to the carriage house.
right.
So we're working with the officers to come up with a solution. Farmstead Alliance is involved in this investigation as well. We're hopeful to find something that appeases all parties.
Yeah. And we're insured.
We're insured.
Well, that's all, I'll say that's all good news, but I'm glad it's under control. Are there any community comments? Okay, let's move on to the library board.
Good evening, thank you. Diane Walton. I live
Diane.
on Silver Avenue, Willow Grove. The library's September flyer was included in your packet, and you should have received the October flyer around the 15th of September. Thank you for sharing this information with your constituents via your email list and social media channels. Nearly 500 participants joined the library's 2024 Summer Quest between June 20th and August 17th. Participants read a combined total of 4,044 hours, which equates to 168 and a half days. Participation was up 37% over 2023. The library will have an open board seat starting in January 2025 for a 3-year term. The library board consists of 7 volunteer members elected by the board and 2 appointed commissioners. Volunteer board members attend the monthly board meeting on the second Wednesday of the month and serve on at least 1 committee. Committees meet anywhere from 2 to 3 times a year to monthly, depending on need. For a relatively small time commitment, Upper Moreland residents can give back to the community, support the important work the library does, and have a rewarding volunteer experience. Information on how to apply can be found on the library's website at umfpl.org/board-applications. The library will be closed for business on Election Day, November 5th, 2024. With increased voter turnout this year, we want to be certain that there is a space in the parking lots for Ward 4 voters at the library and the township buildings. The Library Board of Trustees has voted to update the library hours in 2025. After hearing from the community that morning library hours are vital and reviewing our hourly door counts, our 2025 business hours will be Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. This will increase our total weekly hours from 56 to 58. Finally, I want to mention that we're having our annual picnic for library staff, board members, and our Friends Executive Committee at Pavilion Number 2 at Masons Mill Park this Friday at 5:15 p.m. We would welcome any of our commissioners, as well as Township Manager, Mr. Stacio, to stop by and share a meal with us, generously provided by the Friends of the Library. Any questions?
Would you repeat those library hours for the weekdays?
Sure. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m.
That's wonderful. Are we back to pre-COVID hours?
Not quite, but that's our goal to eventually get there.
Yeah, very close. I know there were, I can't tell you, watching people walk across the parking lot, shake the door, shake their fist. Yes, I'm glad to hear that.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you. All right, no old business. We have some new business, the Power Line Trail Professional Services Proposal. Kate.
Thank you, Commissioner. Hopefully you had a moment to take a look at the proposal and review my agenda summary. This is a proposal for Bowman to provide engineering services for the proposed power line trail over by Johnstown Village. The proposal will provide engineering services for completing the permitting and final design for the power line trail along Pico Utility Corridor. It's from Blair Mill Road to Maryland Avenue at the Jamestown Village Apartments. The scope also includes additional plan preparation and project documentation related tasks that require for the TSA grant funding for construction, which is transportation alternatives set aside funding. So the project outlines 12 tasks to be completed. I can go over those if you'd like me to. Okay. So first task is a supplemental survey. So they would provide and report back any findings from a supplemental survey. Number 2 was engineering and safety review of the site. Number 3 is design the flashing beacon on Maryland Road so pedestrians would be able to cross safely. Number 4, they do the environmental study and clearances for the proposed trail and crossings. Number 5, environmental permitting, because there is a waterway that this proposed trail will be crossing. So along with that, number 6, the hydrologic and hydraulic reporting for the Pennypack Creek, and that I believe is about 3 pages of this proposal for you to take a look at and review. Number 7, preliminary structural design, not only for the trail, but there at that crossing, that waterway crossing, we'd have to decide, how we want to, what structure we'd like to complete that. Number 8, geotechnical engineering, which is lab testing and boring and all. Number 9, subsurface utility design, because there are some buried Pico lines out there. Number 10, another big one, the PennDOT project delivery. So they would take care of presenting the plan once adopted to PennDOT for their approval before moving forward. And number 11 is general project management for this project, anticipated for 24 months, 2 years. And then finally, they would hold the meetings and property owner coordination with any adjacent properties or anybody that they'd have to speak with regarding this.
What's the estimated cost?
The estimated cost is $614,600. This is for the engineering.
Lockard.
Hi. So this is a significant project in terms of all that work and the money. So I guess it seems like we should kind of wait until budget time till we update our capital improvement budget and see what we're going to go after for the next bond, because we don't have room in the current bond funds, right?
That's correct, and I think that's the recommendation from the director, is to do that. It is a large number, I would agree.
It is.
The project itself is $2.4 million, which will be completely funded by grants. The difficulty with this project is it's dealing with PennDOT, and some of the requirements that PennDOT has for their projects increase our costs.
Got it.
However, this is a big percentage of, and we cannot use the grant to subsidize any of these costs.
Any of these costs. Are there other grants that might be able to help, or working with the county? Because I would think that this is a really important piece of trail to the county too, right?
It had been identified. This project has been in consideration since about 2010 to complete or help connect the cross-county trail. There are some possible other grant opportunities through DCNR, Green Region. We have some opportunities to go after additional funding.
Do you feel like we can wait, like the grant we have for the construction, can that?
Go ahead.
Yes, I believe we can wait. The TASA grants I think when Kate and I met with the folks, they're saying it would be probably 2 to 3 years before this project begins. I know in other municipalities, sometimes those task grants took a little longer for the project to come. So I think certainly DCNR grants and county grants are due next spring. I think that gives us ample time to apply for those grants to try to move this forward. However, I do think it is something the board should consider if they're interested in moving this project forward, just in case the grants don't come through.
I'm sorry, you think the board should consider?
I think we should talk about it at budget time to see how
Okay.
it would fit into our budget
Okay.
and how it would affect our budgets.
Okay.
However, I do believe that the director should move forward with any grant opportunities to assist with this. The difficulty is, in the grant opportunities, is that this is for engineering only. And DCNR usually has some money available for trails engineering, but it's not a grant that you typically get. Planning grants, engineering's maybe not quite so much.
Got you. And I guess, this is not on the county list for them to do?
This is not. They're coming down Computer
cross-county.
Road down Maryland and behind Jamestown Village. This would be a spur. But to your point, it's an extremely important spur because it connects the cross-county trail to the power line trail in Horsham. So the funding for the project is taken care of. It's the funding for the engineering that
yeah.
will present a challenge for us.
Okay, well, I certainly do support this piece of the trail. I mean, these trails have just been amazing for so many residents. They get used a lot. So thank you for your work on this. And I guess, so should we just keep it on the agenda for now?
I think I agree with Kate's decision or recommendation to move it for discussion points at the budget
the
hearing,
budget.
at budget meetings. I don't know that
Sounds
we need
good.
to leave it on the agenda. I don't think there'll be other things to talk about until after we decide what we want to do.
Okay, thank you.
Like Pat said, we've been at this since 2010, acquiring grounds leases and everything else. At $600,000 for it's basically a $2.5 million project. For that number that we would be paying, it might be worth getting an RFP for this and check out some real numbers for that. So when we get closer to budget or whatever, I think it might give us some opportunities to maybe save money, to at least have competing bids on this, being that high of a number for 600,000. So I hope you just anticipate maybe doing that. We might be able to drop some, but in the meantime, get as much money as you can with the grants. So, because I think we're going to continue with this. I think we should. I mean, we spent 12 years already. So it's just a matter of how we do it. And that's why you're here, Katie. Thank you.
So the suggestion is, when we get a number, we'll bid this out?
I think we have a solid number. I think what Commissioner McFatridge is suggesting that we go out for an RFP to see if there's other companies or other engineers who would like to bid. Perhaps they're going to come in lower, perhaps they're not. So Kate and I can work together to come up with an RFP to send out to some firms.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I see no other items. Are there any commissioner comments or public comments?
Sorry.
Hello, Susan.
It's good to see you. Sue Earth, Manor, Ward 6. I was asked to ask, and I should have asked when the library was giving its report, but there is some buzz in the Facebook world about an infestation in the library and also a concern, which I bring as a Human Relations Commission member, about homeless people using the library and how we can be more responsive to that. Pat, you're already looking at me.
Yeah, I think you may have come in a little late to this meeting. We
I'm
made an
sorry.
announcement this morning that the library will be closed through Thursday. There's exterminators and there's other sources and other that we're investigating at the library to see if what is being said on Facebook is indeed true.
Okay.
At this point, I have no reason to doubt it, but we're going to bring in professionals to take a look at that. And if there is a problem, we'll take care of that problem as well. The library board has agreed to that.
On top of all that. And the issue I did note in our public safety response, which I was also late for, of course, sorry about that, I was working, that we have greater contacts with the unhoused. I think it was 11, and now it's like 15. So we do the point in time count. Commissioner Lockhart and I have done that on at least 2 occasions. That'll be probably January again, I think. So do you see an increase in that issue, that a greater response might be required of us? That's a Human Relations Commission question.
Yeah.
I'm tacking it on.
You know, in our attempt to have something for homeless people in this county. or
Yes,
in
sir.
this township. I haven't heard Kaylee Silver in a long time, but maybe Cheryl can respond.
Yeah, we've worked with the county to see if we could get a Code Blue shelter in our area. It's needed. I don't have any good news for you at this time. The county's not going around and opening local shelters, but we're trying to find a solution.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think that maybe in a talk with you, Director, Manager, sorry, Pat, about what the Human Relations Commission might send a letter to the commissioners of the county in regard to that need. Are we still using the police department lobby, by the way? We are. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Just to summarize for the public, there are very few programs operating anywhere in the county. The county doesn't take responsibility for, particularly housing or any long-term solutions. There's a number you can call and, referred for services and that kind of thing, but there's no facility. And Cheryl and I have worked with a large group and people from the county to try and develop some kind of program. And there are programs running, not around here, not in Abington or Upper Moreland or Upper Dublin or anywhere close to us, I guess. Anyway, it's a need, and it's all this not in my backyard stuff. Yeah, it's, and even the government, they want to they want to solve the problem. They want to build more housing, but before we have housing, we have to have services, and people are living in our police station in wintertime. And I think if you've been to the post office, they now lock the lobby at night because people were sleeping in the post office lobby. It's pathetic. Anyway, are there any other comments, concerns? Well, on that happy note, we're adjourned.